Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome to Geek Dunn Ryte, the show where I talk about whatever it is I feel like. I'm Chris. Thanks for coming to geek out with me. And you see a new guy over here. This is my buddy Steve Newport. He is actually going to be co-hosting this podcasting experience with me. Yeah, Steve. I guess I already told what you're doing here. So.
Hey, folks. It's good to be part of this team, man. It's fun to be here with you, Chris. This is actually pretty neat. It's the first time I've ever done a podcast, but I'm no stranger to talking to people. I love doing that. I'm a host of different panels throughout the country with a lot of different cool superheroes. And now I think it's pretty cool to be doing this.
And actually, like when it comes to conventions, I mean, yeah, you may be a little bit younger than me, but you actually have way more convention experience in your pinky than I do in my whole body.
Somehow that happened. I don't even know how, but it's awesome. Like, I've been doing conventions as a fan first. The first time I was in high school, I ever did any convention, it was a Star Trek convention. I'll never forget it. It was very, very fun. But literally, almost immediately after that, it was literally like less than 2 years later, I was working for that company doing security with one of the lead actors from Star Trek: The Next Generation. It was one of the coolest things. And we got to talk. And that was my first like step into the convention world.
That's amazing.
And that was in high school. And that was that. So now that was like 30 years ago. It feels like no, it was actually like 15, 20 years. It was a long time ago. It was
Oh
early
man.
2000s.
To be honest, like my first convention was back in like 2007, and it was actually my buddies sneaking me into the Anime Festival Orlando 7.
Oh, AFO, nice.
Yeah, and so like the next year, I actually went legit along with like a few of my other friends. So that was kind of like my first con experience, and that was actually when I got to meet Jason David Frank.
Yeah.
And that was back before he started charging for autographs, so it was awesome. Um, but yeah, it was pretty eye opening in terms of like many different things, but I just was hooked, and even my wife and I go to conventions now, and including like Rangerstop Rangers. Well, I haven't been to Rangerstop Orlando, but I go to Rangerstop and Pop, which
We got to
is
get you here. Hashtag come to Rangerstop Orlando.
yeah,
That's it. Get Chris
gotta
to
get me there.
Rangerstop Orlando. That's what it really is.
Yeah,
It's our new
yeah, that's
campaign.
true.
You need to get to Rangerstop Orlando. But there's something addicting about conventions, right? Something about the not just the camaraderie or seeing the different costumes, the different people, the different fans, just seeing a place where you're definitely going to be accepted for this thing that you love. Because growing up, maybe that wasn't always the case. Whether it was the Power Rangers, the Ninja Turtles, another superhero, another franchise, you don't always get the chance to see like-minded people. But when you're at these conventions, you're like family. And after a while, you stop going to see the actors and you start going to see that family.
That's true. Actually, that's kind of an interesting segue into like how we met, which
Oh,
was
yeah.
Ranger Stop and Pop back in 2021. I was there as press for Geek Done Right, and I'll tell you, like that was my first time ever. Like it's like when you finally discover your tribe, and
Exactly. Your
um
people are here. Yeah.
right. I mean, it was the first place that I've ever been where I felt like 100% accepted. I didn't have to like segment anything about myself. Like I was 100% loved and accepted, and it blew my mind. Actually, like I got like really emotional. I felt so embarrassed, man. I was like bawling like right in front of Karen Ashley and Nakia
Oh,
Maurice.
man. Well,
For
they're
those
friends
who
now. So, I mean,
Right, exactly. I mean, but yeah, they were like, that was one of the moments where they knew that I needed to be part of the team as well. Um, and yeah, I mean, even before I joined the team, though, like you were already like super friendly, and you were upbeat and wanting to even like work with me on stuff back then.
yeah, I appreciate you saying that. And I always, when someone was there, I saw the passion you had for it, and I'm glad so did Team Ranger Stop. and they brought you on and got you Team Rangerstop and Pop. It's distinct
Yeah.
difference, I suppose. Yeah, but that's what it is all about. That's why we do what we do. Once I got involved with the conventions, I got involved with Rangerstop as um, a fan first. The first one I went to, I think, was Rangerstop 3. There was an SPD reunion. It might have been Rangerstop 4. I should know because I'm like speaking about Rangerstop right now. But it was the one that had all of the SPDs, and it was awesome. And I was so glad to see that it was in Orlando and it was there. And the panels were okay; they were fun. I'm not knocking any panels, but there wasn't much rhyme or reason. The actors would sit up there and just talk, and somebody might ask them questions occasionally, but no one was moderating the thing. And it was really unique. I was like, hey, I have a skill that might come into play here, but I never really thought much about it. So I sought out Mikey, who happened to be the owner of Rangerstop, told him about it, and he was like, oh, that's cool, man, that's awesome. And so he's like, you want to talk to this other guy, just what you would do. And so a lot of time passed, and then nothing. And then, long story short, it was almost showtime, and I got a call, and he's like, do you want to do this? And I said, yes, I do. And I had never done that up to that point. I just knew I could, and I guess I could.
Yeah.
And that's
I
how I
mean,
got
like
into the Rangerstop world. And
you.
then I was like, I'm gonna bring everybody else I can into this now that the door's open.
Absolutely, man, 100%. I mean, and honestly, yeah, you can and you did over and over and over and over. Like, I mean, dude, like, let me tell y'all, this guy has hosted a bunch of Ranger Stops. He's hosted like all the Ranger Stop and Pops.
hmm
He hosted at Legendary Con, which or well, Mountaineer Con at the time. But did you host that Legendary Con?
Both of those things I did do.
Yeah.
The
Okay.
only
So.
thing I missed was Salem Superhero Saturday, unfortunately, thanks to not being able to fly.
Yeah, and then on top of that, the actors for the '90s Ninja Turtle movies have been doing these tours of different conventions and stuff like that, and hired Steve on to be the host of their panels.
I
With
think it's awesome. I'm not
yeah,
gonna lie. It's Turtle Shell-a-bration. It's one of the coolest block parties the '90s brought
yeah,
back to life. It's cool. I'm really lucky. Ken Scott and Brian Tochi, from the original, the OGs. Ken was Raphael. He was the stunt actor for Raphael, and Brian was the voice actor for Leonardo. And they put together this Turtle Shell-a-bration to travel around. And for some reason, they wanted me to be part of it, and I'm just happy to be on the team.
gee, I wonder why. It's probably because you're really, really good at it.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Keep going. I'm just not, I appreciate it, man. And it's just so fun to get to do that stuff and to get to meet fans in different places and to see their passion for stuff. Like, I don't know if Ken or Brian are ever going to hear this particular episode, but Ninja Turtles wasn't my thing. I love the Ninja Turtles, but my thing was the Power Rangers, which was just immediately past it. I remember seeing the Turtles as a kid. I remember seeing Star Trek 6 as a kid, but they weren't formulative in my development. But Power Rangers hit at that time, and then that's just kind of what took over from that. But when I sit back at the end of the day and have a bad day, whatever the day is, work might be my job, what might be whatever this or that. I might think, oh, I need this, I need that. I stop and I think the two top superhero franchises of the 1990s and the whole world both want me and allow
Yeah.
and allow me to be a part of this thing. And if I never make another dollar again, I have that. And I think that is so fun and so cool. And that's what I take with it. And that's why I want to bring it to the fans. And if Tommy's your favorite Ranger, I want to hear it from every single one of you. If it's Billy, if it's this guy, whoever. It doesn't matter who your favorite character is or what it is. What matters is the passion that we get to share in these things. And I get to be part of it. And it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is pretty amazing. Like honestly,
I feel like
I still feel a little bit of imposter syndrome. For those that don't know, I'm actually the videographer for Ranger Stop and Pop. I haven't crossed over to other conventions just yet, but
you say just
um,
yet because it is just yet. Give it a minute.
yeah, we'll see.
We'll get you out
But
there.
yeah, I mean, it really is amazing to be on in kind of like that inner circle when it comes to planning these conventions and being a part of it, and getting to engage with a lot of the people that are at the convention and helping them have a heightened experience as well, helping them feel included, but also like hearing who their favorite ranger is and why.
Hmm.
Which was your favorite? Which was your favorite season and why? And like, who are you most excited to meet at this convention? Why?
And
And
why exactly?
tell me your story. What's your background? You know, that type of thing. And you hear like some really really cool stories, and you get to really help people uh, feel uh, like a great part of this amazing show that we're a part of. And like, if you had told me, like 12-year-old me, um, that I would be working alongside the very people that I was fanboying over, I would have said you're a liar. And it's just phenomenal that we get to be able to interact with these people. I
Yeah.
mean, I
Oh
got to go to
yes.
Karen Ashley's surprise birthday party recently,
I was gonna
and
bring that up. I'm like, you're going to dinner with all sorts of Rangers. You were going out
yeah,
with Jack Gusman from Wild Force not too long ago, too. I mean,
yeah,
but who would have thought that we would have become this amazing group of friends that
exactly.
include this amazing group of actors who are amazing friends now as well. Like, you just don't expect it. I've got an action figure of me over here next to an action figure of Aisha, and there's Rocky, and I know these people now.
Yeah,
We've got little figures in that's and not all of them. There's still people I don't, but I do like to keep the figures close. They're always here.
yeah. Well,
Oh man.
now I got a new piece to to
Yes, the Master Morpher from
yeah,
Power Rangers Ninja Steel. What's really unique is like that is one of the most sought after pieces, but I can't say that that was one of the most sought after episodes or that anybody even knew about it until like recently for
right.
obvious unfortunate reasons. But if it's going to be Jason's last episode, it was an amazing episode that featured him so heavily, and it was an amazing story, I thought. But that Master Morpher is a beautiful piece. I'm glad that they made
Yeah.
it. I know it's limited. I know they're tough to get, and I know the fandom is divided over it too. They're like, "Oh, people, it's like if you didn't get one, I'm sorry," or if there's other reasons, but don't be mad at the fact that it costs more money now.
Yeah.
That's its own conversation, but like you're not going to get a legacy Morpher for I bought one of these once for $25 at Walmart.
Yeah, I
Not
got
this
mine
one.
for
I'm
20
sorry.
bucks.
This one was not a Walmart one. This one was, however, because they didn't sell the Tommy one at Walmart. But
I got mine at GameStop when they dropped down to 20
yeah,
bucks.
yeah, I remember that. I
But
wish I could have gotten 5 of those. I wish I could have found them. But
for
yeah,
us though, like the Master Morpher is a little more meaningful because of the fact that it's
yeah,
the last recordings of Jason David Frank playing Tommy, and we were literally there with him in
yeah.
person, interacting with him
Mhm.
just a couple months before his passing.
That is still so surreal to me. And
Yeah.
he here he is from the Turbo movie. Again, I got the figures all over the place, but I remember that it was just a few months before at Rangerstop and Pop. There he was doing what he always did, last fan standing. Um, I had even talked to one of the other Ranger actors. I won't say who. It was a colleague of his, and he said, "Look, look, he kind of looks sick. Even like Jason was already starting to have like whatever was going on in his life, and all he was doing was giving, giving,
Yeah.
giving, giving to people, and that was the Jason I'll always remember and I'll always know." And if we have time for Jason's stories, you tell one first, and then I got when I met him. I did.
Yeah,
I met him
yeah.
a couple times, but I want to tell the more meaningful time I met him was not the first time.
And so the actually Anime Festival Orlando 8 was probably one of the most meaningful ones because I was in like one of the toughest times of my life. I uh, uh, had like I was in financial struggles, and
Mhm.
I just had moved back in with my parents and feeling like a failure and everything like that.
You
And
see a lot of that though in the world. That was echoed by thousands, not just
yeah.
you, but nevertheless, that feeling is going to be there.
Yeah, so I was talking to him, and he took the time to listen, first of all, and the second time or the second thing it was like he gave me a hug, and as he was hugging me, all he had to say to me was, "It'll get better, I promise." Like that's all I needed to hear. That was and that took care of everything. And like I had a love for him before, and I had a great love for him ever since. And it was really kind of shocking to me that he remembered me all the way in like 2022, um from that was 2008.
How he can do it, I had no idea. He would see millions of people and know every one of them,
Yeah, he
and
remembered me. It was
have
crazy.
a meaningful love of that, and that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah. I remember the first time I met him was I actually only met him 3 times. But I say only like that's not a lot of times. But the first time I was as a fan at Power Morphicon 2, and he had a line that went out and around and down, and the longest that you would ever see, and it was free to get his signature. Everybody else was, I mean, I'm not knocking anyone, but like this was not a world where signatures were free,
Right.
and Jason was signing for free. And I happen to have, the most friends back home that like the White Ranger, the Green Ranger, the Black Ranger, all of the things that Tommy had been. I had 7 items with me to get signed. And I was like, oh, let's see. I'll pick a couple things here. And he's like, no, lay him down, man. What do you got? Let's look at him. And I had a White Ranger card, a Green Ranger card, a Zeo. I literally had something of everything. And I still have like 6 of them. It's just really nice. I only gave one to the friend that actually it was for, because the others just didn't end up happening. But I got an autograph thing from each of those things. And I was like, you really don't have to do that. He's like, no, it's cool, man. It's great. I'm just glad you're a fan. And that was so neat. And then flash forward to the very first Rangerstop Pop, which was an amazing show of a disaster. I know if Karen and Nakia ever get a chance to hear this, they'll laugh along with that, because it happened by the grace of the Lord. And
Yeah.
like we had an amazing team of people come together last second, what it felt like to make that work. But one of those people was Jason Frank himself, because
Wow.
Jason, he wanted to help them start their first convention. They were friends and they got that going. But he had a super long line, and his panel, he had actually his own moderator for it. It was Jenna. You can't be mad about that. It's Jenna. And I still got to do the intro for him in this big thing. And he was like, oh man, that was amazing. Let's do it again so we can get Jenna. And I did a big introduction. Ladies and gentlemen, Jenna Frank, the WWE intro type thing. The cheers, the crowd, the Instagram for Jason, JDFFFN. It was all there. And he loved it, and we had fun. And that was, I thought, going to be the end of that interaction. And then flash forward to he's got a long line of people getting ready to sign autographs out there. I go into the green room after the panel is done, and there he is. No one's in the green room but him, sitting at a far table away. So I sat at the furthest table from him, out of respect. I just went in, got a soda, sat down. And he got up, started milling around, and he's like, hey, what's going on, man? You did really great out there with the, and he sat down at my table, asked what I had done, where I'd come from, what I was doing in Atlanta, how many of these I'd done, how long I've been friends with Karen. And I said, actually, I know Mikey. I didn't know Karen as a colleague professionally yet, but thank you for thinking so. And, that sort of thing. And then he's like, you want a picture or anything? And that's the picture I have in my Dino Thunder black t-shirt with my jacket. And
Oh
he's in his
man.
full suit as well. Not Power Rangers suit, but suit and
Yeah.
tie, because man, what a guy. And that's my picture with him in the green room there. And I would never ask for anything like that. But he wanted to take the 5 minutes that he was decompressing to still talk to another person, but not even as a fan. He was talking to me as what got you into hosting? How did you get involved with Rangerstop? How cool.
Yeah, I mean
And
that was one
that
thing
was
about.
Jason.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry to
No,
interrupt, but
please.
like,
No, it's not
no,
interrupt.
no, dude, like that really is like Jason at his core.
That was Jason. Yes.
Is that he's not interested in you as a fan, he's interested in you as a person, and he
As a
made you
person.
feel that way.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean,
Yes.
did everybody have a 100% great interaction with him? No, not really.
I would imagine not, but I would also imagine
But
that a lot of those were not caused I would imagine a lot of those need to be reframed based on who is telling the story that they had a bad experience,
Exactly.
is all.
And no, like no matter who you see, no matter what kind of person, you could catch me on a bad day.
But
You
we're all
know?
gonna have them.
Like I
Yeah.
will snip at you if you catch me at the wrong time, and it's
And
because
if that's
I'm
the one
human.
moment you meet that person, that's what you'll remember, but that's not
Yeah,
mean that's what they are. Yeah, that's exactly the case.
yeah. And my interactions with Jason were just great. I never had a bad
Yeah.
interaction with him. And
Yeah.
the last thing that I remember hearing him say too, though, was like when there were a bunch of other um, there were a bunch of other press there trying to take pictures, and people were like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, hey, 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 hey," and he was like, "No, no, 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 no." And okay, so like, I I get the convention rules and everything like that with like no pictures, no video, but as for me, like I don't care. Like take your pictures, take your video because that's how you get your name out there.
Mhm.
These like I don't understand the others that do that. I mean, it may be their rules or whatever. And me personally, like I'm not throwing any shade, but the but he's like that's how you get the name recognition. That's how you get your fans. I mean, if
Yeah,
you
you're getting seen. You're seen on all these different places. Everybody's wall has a picture of Jason on it from a different angle.
yeah,
That's a
exactly.
good strategy
Yeah,
if you wanna be seen and known,
right.
and especially if you wanna be seen and known as a guy who's good to his fans, and he was always, always that.
Yeah, he gave everything to his fans. He really did. Um, I mean, like, I also remember the time when he actually set it up to where people could go and train with him and even stay in his home and everything
Yeah.
like that. Like, that was cool. I wish that I had done it. I wish I
Oh, and
had,
now,
but
I mean, of course, there's so many things. It's like, wow, that would have been so amazing, or that was so amazing that it happened for somebody. It's
yeah,
amazing. I'm still
yeah.
happy that it did, at least.
But I mean, these are like the type of things that we experience, and the stories that we get to learn and find out and know as we participate in these conventions. I mean, it's just absolutely amazing. But it's also a lot of hard work too.
It is. That's the thing. And for me, I feel like I do the absolute least amount of work despite the energy I put out. I will put the energy out, which is a transference, and we've talked about that. And I had a long talk with Brian Tochi about that one time. Energy, they're paying for our energy.
Yeah.
And then that helped me accept some money. And then
We're buying your energy.
he's so right though. That's so true. The energy in that and is a part of these events, but the people who put it together, um, the volunteer staff, um, just all of the people involved with this convention do it because they love either the franchise mostly, but also just conventions and fandom in general. There are convention fans. You know, you see those not specifically of the franchise, but they thrive on line control at events like this. I've met some in Dallas like that. They're amazing people. Like this is their speciality.
Yeah.
Is that's what they want to do. I want a crowd of 10,000 so I can put them in a queue. You
Yeah.
know, that's what
Yeah.
they're into. That's where their operational heads at. And like mine is like, give me the microphone. I'll talk to the actors. You know, which anybody could do is what I used to think, and I have been told that that's not true. So um,
I'm like,
I have learned that I did get to learn that wasn't true, and I've done different I mean, I'm not gonna spill all or anything, but I've had moments throughout where I've had to take microphones back from people, and I'm like, "I'm sorry, I thought we could do a little better than that." But, that's everybody gets a shot.
yeah, yeah. I mean, as for me, like, I'm the guy where you better watch what you're saying and doing because you might have my camera in your face.
Right, and that's what I love about our conventions, though, or I mean, anything we get involved with. When you can have those moments, it's like, oh, there's Chris. He captured that. He saw that. He got that. Like the lip sync battles,
Yeah,
the party, the dances, the just the panels, the moments, the games.
yeah. Now I
People
will
have
say that
fun. That's why we do it.
there is another person that I do want to take mention of,
Oh yeah.
and that's Rebecca. I mean, she's
Yes.
doing a lot of video for the social media. She shoots a lot with her iPhone. she's like everywhere. She gets great moments. I mean, she is absolutely stellar. She gets out content on the
She's
daily
the
while we're at the
best. I know.
convention.
I
So
feel like I never get to talk to her. You ever, you know how you have those people where you're on the same team and you never get to interact? I feel
right.
like Rebecca's one of those people. I love you though, Rebecca.
Yeah,
Right
yeah,
into the
yeah.
camera.
We we
I love
we
you.
we love you. Seriously, we
We love you.
we love you,
Yeah,
Rebecca.
yeah.
But I'm glad that I get to. Well, I try to take the moments to talk to you while you're doing setup and everything like that.
It's the best way though, because we have to steal these moments from each other.
Right, right. And honestly, like, uh, I just love that you give time though, man. Because like honestly, I think that was one of the things that contributed to me being wanting to be a part of it. Like when I got
Mm.
invited to be on the video team, the thoughts that I had in the moment, um, were. Like of all the people that I met and interacted with, and you were like a big part of that, and
Oh man, thanks.
how like cool you were in terms of like talking and like treating me not as like this fluffy weirdo that is just like super into all this but
That's why we're there. Yeah, I know.
right. But like that's really what kind of like made me connect with you. And then when I saw you do what you do, a lot of people think that they can be a panel host. I've had so many people approach me like, oh, I need you to tell them about me, and like I don't know why they're not giving me a chance to be a panel host. I'm like, because you're not Steve.
It's not that they're not even the key is to not even make them know that they need that position,
Right.
but then to be filling that position and then be like, oh well, we're not going to not have him do that.
Right.
Like, and
Yeah.
I am happy to share panels with people, but it becomes a slippery slope. And I'm not saying it's a skill that I have. And it's one that I'm happy to get to have. And it's one that I'm happy to get to liaise between fan and talent in that respect, where we're all one big group, and that's how these things always are. But it's kind of neat to like bounce between and always be a friendly face for both sides for people to kind of operationally work with, I guess. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah.
But when you're doing a panel, and we've seen this a lot of times, it, you have to let them talk. You have to. It is not about how your favorite episode was this, and this. I did a Ninja Turtles panel once, and somebody really wanted to do a little bit of co-hosting on it, and it was the actress from the movie, the '90s movie. Um, this was not a turtle Shell-a-bration though, but like this was a different event. But it was many of those same actors were involved, and the guy started talking about the Last Ronin, which is a Ninja Turtles comic book line that has nothing to do with their movie. And after a good, 45 seconds of explaining the dial, kind of like I'm doing with this story, but like after like a really long explanation of what happened in the comic, it's like, I'm gonna have to get the mic back, buddy. I'm sorry. Like we're gonna need to
Yeah.
steer this back. These guys, I'm sorry, Francois Chow didn't read that comic book. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, honestly though, like
You
that's
know,
kind of what I've seen you do, because I've edited a lot of the Rangerstop and Pop panels.
oh yeah,
I've edited at least like 20 panels,
the ones you can
20
hear
plus.
at least, right?
Right, right, yeah. And like I've noticed how like there are some people that love to give their entire life story in a question. And
Right.
like they'll or they'll like explain this like really crazy arbitrary fact and things like that, and they're very long-winded about it. Bless their hearts. Like
It's yeah, but because they love it so much, it means so much to them,
yeah,
whatever it happens to be.
but you're able to kind of like get them to like hurry it up, like come on, wrap it up,
Let's steer the
B,
course a
you
little
know.
bit here.
And then on top of that, though, and this is something that my wife actually mentioned, and where she appreciates you as a host,
Ooh,
is when you have a crap ton of people on a panel, you're able to wrangle them, because there are some very like loud personalities
yeah,
sometimes,
yes.
and
Sometimes vying for the microphone, sometimes
yeah,
never vying for the microphone. Yeah.
exactly. And you are able to like cool down the people that are working with the microphone a little bit too much, and then like bringing the attention over to the people that haven't really been speaking up. And that was something that my wife mentioned, and I was like, yeah, that's true. I have seen him do that quite a bit.
I appreciate that, man. And that's one of the reasons for that is we've all been at conventions like this and stuff, but I was at a Star Trek convention, and
So jealous of that, by the way.
it was really, really cool. But this was not the one I worked for. This was a different Star Trek team. And I still never said the name of that other one anyway, but this was not that one. Um, the panel was up there. There were like 7 people on the panel. They were not all it wasn't like the whole cast of TNG or anything major, but it was like 7 random actors from, different seasons of TNG, DS9 Voyager, the Berman era of Star Trek. And I think 3 of them dominated the conversation. And 2 of them that played admirals on DS9 and Voyager, or I'm sorry, not Voyager, they were in the Delta Quadrant, on DS9 and TNG, didn't speak even once. Not even once. They sat on that panel in silence
Oh,
because the mic never got to them, and the questions were all for, like, I think one of them was Tom Paris or something. So there was somebody that was higher up than the others, but they put all the Star Trek people in the same panel, and it just didn't work. And I did do a panel. This one, I got to kind of blame this on me, but this whole weekend was just getting out of control. There were like 15 or something Power Rangers on the stage at once, from like Michael Lasky and Blake Foster down here to everybody up here. And then here's Liana Ramirez from Beast Morphers.
yeah.
And I'm like, okay, who wants to talk Rangers? And I think like Sierra took the mic, and she and I did most of the talking, despite there were 90 people on the stage. They didn't even want to be at the show. They were just having fun that weekend and so on, but they didn't say a word. So it was like, okay, well, I'm just going to let the people who want to do this panel do it. The rest of you, nice to see you.
Yeah.
Sometimes it just gets that way, but
Yeah.
but what's cool about Rangerstop and Pop and Rangerstop Orlando is that they're broken up. Having a Power Ranger specific convention is like the coolest thing in the world to me specifically, because each of these panels can be broken down. But then Rangerstop and Pop, it's even more fun. It's, oh, look, we get Kel Mitchell, we get Sean Weiss,
Mm-hmm.
Giovanni Samuels. What amazing people!
Oh, I love Giovanni.
She is so much fun,
Oh,
so
she's
much
so
fun.
great.
And her little boy was back dressed as Spider-Man,
Oh
running around, and
man.
we had a panel during with the Spider-Man voice actor from Miles Morales, Najee, um, and he was in the back running around, and he came up on the stage with us. Cute little kid, what a great group.
Yeah.
But that's what Rangerstop and Pop becomes. It's like a 3-day event, and then by the end of the 3rd day, you're inviting one of the actors' kids on the stage because you're friends, and it's like,
Yeah.
come on, let's play this. Yeah.
And the nice thing about it too is like there's time with it being a little bit of a smaller convention. There's time for interactions in between and like really cool little moments and things like that. And it's really cool. I mean, like I keep telling people that you know going to Ranger Stop and Pop feels like a family reunion.
Every single time. That's exactly how it feels. And I look forward not to, I mean, yes, to seeing the actors, but only because they're part of this family too. And it's the
Yeah.
same actors over and over again that I look forward to seeing.
Yeah.
Every time they announce a new one, I'm always saying, cool, something new for my autograph collection, or someone new to ask questions to, something like that.
Wait, you get
But
autographs?
only every once in a while. It very rarely happens. I got some this past convention, but I normally don't, and I got a
Yeah.
couple of things signed. I had a picture of the Zeo Rangers, the whole cast
Oh,
of the Zeo Rangers, and it was only signed by Jason Frank. It
wow.
was it was one of those 7 items from Power Morphicon 2 that I told you about earlier
Yeah.
at the beginning of the show. See, it all ties together. No,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
but one of those 7 items I brought to this past Power Ranger Stop and Pop, and they all signed it for me, and it was really nice. And they put their colors and everything. So
Yeah.
it's a beautiful piece. If I had it right here, I would hold it up. It would make sense, but I don't. But
I actually bought an autograph and photo, like I did a combo with Brad Hawkins.
it's cool. He wasn't even charging all that much.
No, he wasn't. He was
Yeah,
very humble about it, and he was just
yeah,
super cool to interact with. I was
I
trying to
like him.
get him to say I'm an OG on camera, but that didn't work out. But
He should have said he was the OG gold. I
I
know, that's all
know.
we needed. OG,
Uh,
not OG.
yeah, we need a T-shirt campaign that says I'm an OG.
OG gold. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it was really, really lots of fun. And honestly, man, like, I'm glad that you agreed to be a part of this podcast. I think it's,
I think we're going to have a lot of fun with it, and I think we're going to
yeah,
have no trouble filling lots of time looking at how long we've been rolling
right.
already. Yeah.
Well, I mean, and the cool thing about this is, like, I mean, a lot of people might think that we might be talking largely about Power Rangers, but we have a lot of other
It's in
fandoms that
there.
we're a part of. It,
Exactly.
it's there, but, like, I mean, we've got the Ninja Turtles, we've got Star Trek. Both of us are Trekkies.
Oh, definite Star Trek. There's plenty to talk. That's a whole episode
Yeah.
right now. We can start from there.
I mean,
No,
you probably
exactly.
know more than I do, but even still,
Oh, but
I do enjoy it.
it's just a great franchise.
I mean, and there's like all sorts of like movies and so many other things that we'll talk about. A lot of my audience knows me from my Destiny 2 reaction videos. So like
Nice.
we probably could talk about gaming, but at the
Mhm.
same time too, we'll also have some guests on. Some of our friends from the Rangerstop conventions might pop in, and maybe a few other surprises as well, assuming that we can line them up. This is just the first episode, so like here's hoping that
We
we
got
can
plenty to
line it
come.
up.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see. Let's see how episode 2 goes. No, but I really think it'll be great. And we've got a lot of cool people, a lot of cool stories, actually, things that I don't even think about all the time. It's like, wait, that's a neat thing that happened. People would
Yeah.
enjoy knowing that about the convention world that we do, unless you're not interested in that. And at this point, you wouldn't be listening by now,
Right,
probably. So,
exactly. So if you guys have stuck to the end of the show,
Mhm.
what
We
should
love you
our
for it.
what should we have them put in the comments? Hashtag what? Uh,
Oh no. Oh gosh, we hashtag something to the end. Not hashtag the end. That's too bad. But like Cosmic Fury just ended, so it should be something from that. Like
mm.
May the power protect you. Wait, is that a spoiler?
No. Because
Yeah.
I mean, we say that as Rangers anyways. So like,
Oh
yes,
yeah, that's true.
hashtag May the power protect you. And by the time that you're seeing this, there's not going to be any spoilers or anything like that.
No, it's so true. Exactly.
So we are actually filming this at the time that Cosmic Fury had just released. The Master Morphers, the first wave had just been
Just
put out.
came out. Mm-hmm.
And the WGA strike had just ended, but the SAG-AFTRA strike is still ongoing. So that's kind of giving you the timeline. And
That's where we are now, folks. And you're in the future. I hope
yeah,
things are better.
honestly, this has been an excellent first episode. I am glad that you accepted to join me in this. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm excited to see what we make from here on out.
I couldn't agree more, man. It's going to be fun. There's plenty of stories to tell. There's plenty of good times to have. And I'll have more than one action figure handy next time, perhaps, for
Yeah,
more
let's
visual
see
learning.
how many will like pop up as you go. Like,
I got another one. Here's one. This is the Lunar Wolf Ranger from Wow Force.
wow, man.
Yeah, that's a good way to end it. There he is, Merrick.
Yeah, wild access.
Wild access.
Yeah. All right. Thanks again, everybody, for joining us on the first episode of the Geek Dunn Ryte podcast.
Geek Dunn Ryte.
Yeah, and be ready for action, adventure, stories, and his beautiful face.
Don't forget about his too. Look at that.
Lots of smiles.
Thanks for having us, friends. This is what it's all about. Lots of smiles, lots of fun, and lots of love until next time. And thank you for hanging out with us.
Until next time, y'all take it easy. Peace.